Greetings, everyone. It's February 5th, 2025, at least for the next couple of hours. And in all the excitement, I forgot, or nearly forgot, that it's National Read Aloud Day. And so here I am, hatless and with spectacles and a slight glare, to read to you a few pages from my novel, Carlisle Montgomery, which, in the ragged shape that this particular copy is in, is because this is the one that I've carried around to various readings, live and otherwise. And so here we go. I tried to find something vaguely appropriate to the hour. So Carlisle Montgomery is a singer-songwriter from Richmond. It's the 1990s. She's returning to the city after a long tour. This is chapter 40, from chapter 47, The Wait. Carlisle expected that during her absence, Richmond's majestic rotation might bring changes. Venues closed, others opened, bands broke up. Some people made good on their grousing and left Richmond for good. And Buddy Escher sold a song to a Garth Brooks wannabe named Ronnie Wilcoxon. 3 more like that, he told Carlisle, and he'd never do nothing again. The Grit music rag folded its paper version to move to an online edition. An alternative open format radio station called WRFR, Radio Free Richmond, sought low power FM status from the almighty Federal Communications Commission, but until then broadcast through the internet. Punchline: thicker and longer, and the clip art 1950s couple on the table of contents page, frozen in smiles and mid-gesture, continued to trade non-sequitur jibes. He: I need a woman. She: you need a bath. Carlisle encountered people who wondered where'd she'd been, and others who believed that they'd seen her at a customary haunt just the other day. On stage, she unfurled road stories and near-scrape adventures and introduced songs like The Sad Ballad of Edgar Poe and the semi-confessional Amtrak Millennium and a grisly love-murder ballad she ripped from the Times-Picayune 2 Found Dead. This isn't a dinner-time story, so I apologize, she'd say. While alone, she stayed away from most Livewire's material, more as a personal challenge than preference. At a Babes gig, she got her hand pumped by a beaming fellow named Travis Donlavey, whose name, she said, reminded her of a TCM movie cast member. Not top billing, but among those in the supporting list. Yeah, a character actor, he agreed. Yeah, like one of those, I know that guy. He always makes the movie better. Oh, I hope so, he nodded, lowered his eyes, bashful. Then he perked right up, as though poked by surprise. But, Carlisle, I'm running for city council. He kept hold of her hand. And we've met before. I admire your music. The name and face resolved into recognition. A younger, heavier, and nervous version of Travis came to those big potluck dinners held behind the Montgomery Manor in the Lee Street's backyard, when, at her instigation, artists gathered to bitch about the government. All they ever agreed about was for someone to run out and get more beer. Now here, Travis, fitter and far more confident than she remembered, and his pallid complexion rosy in health, worked the gay lesbian hustings for support. He wanted to emphasize arts and culture and get that damn admission tax repealed. Sign me up, Carlisle roared. She played for his campaign Let me try that again. She played for his campaign stump speeches at Carey Street Cafe and in the Bird Park Roundhouse, where Carlisle proved more of a crowd pleaser than Travis. During a polite and sparsely attended fundraiser at O'Toole's Restaurant and Pub, she and the amazing Hazlitt sisters, triplet gospel singers, performed a paint-scorching version of the Close the Fire Water Down that provided the introduction for Travis Donlavey to deliver a stem winder denouncing the city's ills and offering himself as a partial solution. The audience clapped their hands raw. He afterward touched Carlisle's elbow to bring down her ear. Congratulations, you successfully brought together under one roof everybody who'll vote for me. The electorate of the 5th District didn't quite know what to make of a sometime mandolin-strumming former art history professor turned low-income housing developer and regional planning district savant, unmarried and perhaps gay. His incumbent opponent, H. Warren Vanoy, who in foghorn leghorn orations made grand promises of new economic opportunities. Although in his 12 years warming the big leather chair on council, his salient accomplishment consisted of bringing the city large volume waste bins on rollers. The success earned him the sobriquet of the trashiest member of council, and he brought a mirthful pride to the description. His votes often lined up against members whose views he otherwise blathered against. That's a terrible situation, he'd complain. No margin of mercy for the opposition. His appearances on the district streets proved as rare as Sasquatch sightings. H. Warren Vanoy's constituents saw him most often on the televised council meetings, grandstanding about the neglected Fifth and holding up charts and pamphlets to prove arcane points of incomprehensible arguments pertaining to sidewalks. Somehow, after surveys and the sinking of little orange pennant markers, the sidewalks didn't get installed, and the old broken and upturned sections avoided effective repair despite frequent and often vehement public complaint. Vanoy decried the bureaucracy of public works. A few pristine slabs appeared, though work soon stopped, which caused smirking criticism that even in his own district, H. Warren Vanoy couldn't get laid. Carlisle stood by Travis Dunleavy on election night as the cascading total on television buried him in blue and white, and the jowl-waggling, bespectacled analyst pronounced his campaign a failure. Richmond doesn't want eccentricity in its public officials. Sad streamers draped over Travis's drooped shoulders. Next time, he wiped an eye. Not quitting, just starting. She kept shaking her head. Unbelievable. What the fuck, she said. The voters must have taken their dumb pills for breakfast. Travis frowned. Somebody needs to initiate a lawsuit to recall those dumb pills. They're dangerous. And that concludes my 2025 contribution to National Reading Out Loud Day from Carlisle Montgomery, written by, well, you know, me. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Keep 'em sailing.